And Dr. Boyd, my own sister, came last Sunday. And I was not here, but I heard it was really wonderful. But we're going to try today. As we know, what we're going to talk here is not judgmental. I want you to remember that we are educating ourselves. We are making ourselves ready for the battle. A healthy physical church will be able to grow spiritually. And so we are preparing ourselves. Knowledge is power. And so we want to know, the topic here is understanding diabetes, the causes, the bodily impact, prevention strategies, and treatment options. Pastor, this is a whole week discussion here. So we're going to try. As we are going to set up some things here, I like visual because when we see things, it has an impact. If I stand here and tell you a can of pop has 45 grams of sugar, for some of you, it goes right over your head. And so we want to set up such a way that you will see what we are talking about. I think the table should be down here. They will be able to see it. Is that, yeah, right, yeah. So everybody can see. While they're setting up, I want to give the background of this topic. Maureen, can you help me here and read Ephesians 5:29? And before I get in trouble, before you read, I want to say I appreciate my children, Maureen Bia, Janea, and my daughter Matu. I know my grandson is in Sunday school, so he helped me prepare this too, so I want to say I'm thankful to him. Having said that, Maureen, you can read for us Ephesians 5:19. We want to give, the biblical context
5:29.
to this.
Ephesians 5:19. I'm reading from the Contemporary English Version. None of us hate our own bodies. We provide for them and take good care of them, just as Christ does for the church.
We don't hate our bodies. We take care of it. We like for it to shine. When we are sick, we go to the doctor because we are taking care of the body. And we are doing that just as Christ is taking care of us. And Janea, are you ready? 3 John chapter 1, verse 2.
3 John chapter 1 verse 2 reads, Dear friend, I hope all is well with you and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit.
And then I will read 1 Corinthians 6:19. We are doing this so we can know that we are not just teaching you diabetes, but it is because the Bible, as we learned in Sunday school this morning, if we want to know how to live, it is in the Bible. Everything we need to live is in the Bible. And so 1 Corinthians 6, verse 19, I'm going to read that. And it reads us, or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? It is against this background that we want you to know. Now that you know that the body is not your own, It's a temple that God has given you. So we need to make it clean. When we talk about this verse, most of the time we talk about how to be spiritually clean. But we're going to use that to talk about how to be physically clean, how to make the body physically clean for the spirit. The topic diabetes, there are many, many books about it. So we're just going to quickly tell you what a diabetes is. Diabetes is not a disease, okay? It is a condition, so that means it's a range of different things that happens. And so when we talk about diabetes, it's a chronic condition, okay, which is a result of your body not being able to use insulin properly. Our body produces a hormone called insulin. The insulin, when we eat, the food we eat breaks down into glucose. You hear me sometimes say sugar and glucose interchangeably, but glucose is the appropriate term because glucose is the simplest form of sugar. It's a kind of sugar. Okay, we get different kinds of sugar. And so diabetes is a chronic disease. Okay, when your body is not able to make insulin, or the one it has is not able to use it the way it's supposed to. Okay? So, here's some fact about diabetes. Now, hold this. The population of the world is about 8 billion people. Out of that 8 billions, 800 millions are living with diabetes. That means if we have 10 people here, one person is living with diabetes. Okay? But here's the interesting thing about it. With this 800 million people we're talking about, half of them do not know they have diabetes. And that is the witchcraft that we keep talking about. When people die in Africa, that witchcraft that we say, oh, they killed that man. They killed that woman. Half of the people that have diabetes don't know. Because sometimes you have no symptoms. It's in you, eating you up. Or sometimes the symptoms is there, but we don't pay attention to it. Because the symptom is the same as a symptom for a lot of other things. And so we don't pay attention to it. When we come to the USA, 1 in 12 people are living with diabetes. 1 in 12. So every 12 person, 1 person they have diabetes. And listen to this. 10 millions of those people in the US that are living with diabetes, again, they don't know they have it. And 1 in 3 people have what we call pre-diabetes. We're going to define these words, just follow along with me. Pre-diabetes, pre means before. So it's a condition, you are not diabetic yet, but you have some things that if you don't take care of, you are going to be diabetic. And so when we say 1 in 3 adults are pre-diabetic, if you don't hear anything, I think that's what you should pay attention to. Because pre-diabetes is your warning sign to tell you you need to stop and change some things. In Africa, 1 in 20 adults are living with diabetes. And again, half of those people do not know. The 1 in 20 is about 25 million of the total population of adults in Africa. Okay? But in 25 years, that number is going to double. The people that are living with diabetes in Africa, we're going to go from 25 million to 60 million in about 25 years. It's going to double. Why is that? Because in Africa, we're not walking to the farm anymore. We are riding cars. We have chicken wings, chicken thighs being sold now in Africa. Our people are not setting traps to eat meat from the bush anymore. They're not fishing from the river to eat those organic fish anymore. We are buying fish from in the market that have other things in it. In the world, diabetes is the leading cause of death in the world. So when we are accusing the witchcraft, diabetes could be one of the witchcrafts. Yeah. In the U.S. population, African Americans make up about 14% of the entire population of U.S. But when it comes to diabetes, African Americans and Native Americans make up about 13% each. We are leading. So if you're an African American, you need to know you are at higher risk. This one are not racism you. So don't say the people are racist. Not racism. That's our biological thing. Okay, we are more prone to diabetes. The Asians are 10% of the people with diabetes. The whites that make up the majority, whites make up about 75%, 74 point something, so of the total population. But when it comes to diabetes, 9%. What are they doing that you're not doing? Let's look at the different kinds of diabetes. There are many different kinds of diabetes. But the three major ones are what we'll look at. And then we'll look at pre-diabetes, and then we'll look at other conditions that are similar, to diabetes. Diabetes has what they call type 1. It used to be called juvenile diabetes or insulin-dependent diabetes. It was called juvenile diabetes because it was mainly affecting children. It's not so anymore. So when you look at people with diabetes, about 5 to 10% of them have type 1. It's not as common. 5 to 10%. What causes type 1? So the body attacks itself. Those are some of the things that, we can't understand. Your body, by mistake, will not recognize itself. So it will attack itself, leading to your body making less insulin or no insulin. And insulin that we're talking about, this hormone insulin, is what breaks down sugar. So when we eat, the food breaks down into sugar. You need something to take that sugar from out of your blood into the cells to build muscles. Your brain needs a lot of sugar. Okay? So, but how does it get there? It is the insulin that is doing the work. So if your body has problem that is not making insulin, or it doesn't know how to use the insulin it has, you are in trouble. Okay? You say, what is the risk factor? What put me at risk for diabetes type 1? If you're a young person, if you have a family history of diabetes, you are at risk. Diabetes type 1 is more common among the white people than African Americans and Hispanics. And it's more common among men than women. Okay? Type 2. This is the most prevalent kind of diabetes. This is when your body is not able to make insulin. It's found mostly in adults, but just before I end that statement, it is now increasing among young people. They are finding more now in young people. It used to be called adult onset. It was only found in adults, the older people. But now, no, it's going down the line now to teenagers. But the good news about diabetes type 2 is that if you make lifestyle changes, you can reduce your risk. If you have it already and you're living with it, if you reduce lifestyle, you can improve the outcome. You can live better life. We'll talk about what to do to change lifestyles. What puts you at risk for type 2? A family history, sedentary lifestyle. Some of us spend 8 hours in front of the TV. 12 hours we're in front of the TV. You can't get in and walk. That's called sedentary lifestyle. And sometimes it's not just your home. You have a job that you are sitting all the time. It's not your fault. Okay, so being less active, having a family history of diabetes, when you have diabetes while you are pregnant, that puts you more at risk for type 2. Your age, because we say what? It's mostly prevalent in adults, even though it's going down the line. Okay? So by race, type 2, the highest number is found among African Americans or blacks. Type 2. Followed by Hispanics, followed by Native Americans. And the thing about type 2 is a slow process. It develops slowly. Type 1 develops within weeks and months. Type 2 is over the years that you develop it. It doesn't come on suddenly. There's a third type of diabetes that is a special case. It's called gestational. I get it right, Jania? Okay. They were teaching me this thing yesterday because I was saying gestational. They said, no, that is gestational. So I have to learn it to say gestational. It's not my fault, though. I went to school in Liberia. I didn't go to school in America. Yeah, so, yeah. So gestational diabetes is the one that women are at risk for when they are pregnant. They affect about 5 to 9% of women in the U.S. in pregnancy. If you had it before, you are more at risk for getting it. If you're overweight, you're more at risk. If your baby before was 9 pounds or more, that means big babies, that put you at risk for gestational diabetes. If you have a family history of type 2 diabetes, that put you more at risk. So this one it only affects women when they are pregnant. Okay, not all women, just about a small percentage of women. Now that we've talked about those 3 types, let me talk about what a prediabetes is. So prediabetes is when your body the blood glucose, the normal is supposed to be 70 to 100. So if your blood sugar, again, I'm using the blood sugar, but it should be blood glucose, is higher than what it should be normally, then you are pre-diabetic. It's a warning sign to getting full-blown diabetes. It increases your rate for diabetes type 2. It increases your rate for heart disease. It increases your risk for having stroke. So you see why I say it's worse? Because people, you go and your doctor say, oh, you have pre-diabetes. You're like, oh, yeah, I don't have diabetes yet. No. Because it could still make you get stroke before you get a full-blown diabetes. It could make you have heart attack. That condition increases your risk of having heart attack. So don't be happy because your doctor say, oh, you are pre-diabetic. Pre-diabetes means stop what you are doing. Look at everything. Keep moving. Get moving. Do some exercise. You don't have to go to the gym. We'll get to that. So pre-diabetes is a condition that sometimes they refer to it as impaired fasting glucose or impaired glucose tolerance. Those words can be used interchangeably to just mean that your sugar level is abnormal. Okay? So when they say you have impaired fasting glucose, that means when you fasted and they check your sugar, it was a little bit high. After you fasted all night, your sugar not supposed to be higher. Okay? So because it's not diabetic yet, they put you in that group. But those groups, they are not group that you just go to sleep. Now that we talk about this, how do I know that I have diabetes? And if you listen to Dr. Massaquo's talk and what I'm going to tell you, some of those things overlap. Okay? Being too thirsty. Usually thirsty. It's a sign that, something's wrong. Going to the bathroom to urinate frequently. Being tired, being weak. Blurred vision. Blurred vision is you look at a thing, you can't see it clear. It's like it just, wavy in your eyes. And so now people start losing their sight. Okay? Then we say witchcraft. Before you call witchcraft, go see your doctor. And then sometimes we have wound on somebody, the wound can't heal. They say that wound there, she's doing something inside. Why the wound can't heal? That woman been having that wound since I know her. Yeah. Our body is supposed to heal itself. If you have a wound, small wound that just can't heal, going months, you need to check it out. Normally, a good, healthy body is supposed to heal itself. How do we test for diabetes? I want we can get a question and answer. How do we test for it? The test, we poke your finger. Okay? That's the easiest way to do. Most of the time when we talk about diabetes check, that's what people do. If you're living with diabetes, if you're here, you have to poke your fingers every day. Some people, your doctor say 1 time, some people do it 2 times, some people do it 4 times a day. Okay? When you're in the hospital, you got no choice. We do it 4 times a day. Yeah, people don't like it. Because it's painful to be pricking your finger every time with a needle. because that's the only way we get blood. But in the lab, there are 3 ways that, diabetes can be tested. They get a random testing where you don't have to fast. You just come, they say, oh, come, Sister Mary, let's check your blood sugar. Okay? When they check it, and your blood sugar is less than 200, you didn't fast. We just grab you and say, can I do your blood sugar? We did it, and it's less than 200. That's okay. If it is more than 200, it's abnormal. Okay? Then they do what they call the fasting glucose. This one, you stay without food overnight. Okay? No eating overnight. And then you go to the doctor in the morning, and then they check your sugar. If it is 100 or less, you are good. Thumbs up. Branson Air can say, good job. If it is between 100 to 125, what is that? You are pre-diabetic. That's pre-diabetes. 100 to 125. After you fasted all night and you go in, if your number is 100 to 125, you are pre-diabetic. If it is more than 125, you are diabetic. That's how people get diagnosed. Okay? There's another one that they call glucose tolerance test. This one, I've seen it done because most of the time when people are pregnant, that's how they check for diabetes. So what they do, you fast and they draw your lab. And they get a result. Then they give you sugar water, real sugar water, for you to drink it. When you drink it, after 2 hours, they check your sugar. Because what they are looking for is within 2 hours, your body, the insulin should break down the sugar that they gave you. So they are challenging your body to see if it will respond to that. After 2 hours, if your blood sugar is less than 140, you are good. Thumbs up. Okay? If it is between 140 and 200, you are pre-diabetic. If it is more than 200, you are diabetic. So your blood sugar high, your blood sugar low. There's a medical name for that. When it's high, they call it hyperglycemia. Glycemia is sugar. Hyper just means high. You can hear who say that bottle is too hyper. Yeah. Then you get a condition called hypoglycemia. It's low. And how do you know your blood sugar is high? Neurological symptoms like you are drowsy. The person can't, it's like you are too sleepy. All of a sudden you are confused. Okay? And high blood sugar can get to emergency level that if you don't control it when it gets too high, then you start breaking down. So what happens is your body is not using the insulin, and so your body is breaking down fat for energy now because your insulin is not making use of the glucose. So now your body has to continue living. It needs energy. And so it goes to fat now and start breaking down fat. And when fat breaks down, there's a chemical, the byproduct is called ketone. And so when you go to the hospital, sometimes they ask you for urine to check for diabetes because if you have ketone in your urine, they are concerned because we are not supposed to be passing ketone in our urine. So they are checking for ketone in your urine. That means your body is not now breaking down glucose, it's breaking down fat. and that's an emergency situation. Okay? And so, when your sugar is low, it causes you to be shaky. Every sign of hunger, you know, when you're very hungry, how you feel? Your hand shakes. You know, you feel like you are sitting on a pin. You're anxious. You know, you're irritable. You know, you're just not feeling right. You're sweating. Yeah, all that hunger sign is a sign of hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. And when you're having those things, don't just overlook it. Schedule a visit with the doctor. How is diabetes treated? Diabetes is treated with insulin. People can control it. Some people control it with diet. If you are really determined, you can control it with diet. But if you can't control it with diet and exercise, then you have to get a medication called insulin. You have to poke yourself every day to give yourself insulin. Now insulin is getting advanced. They have pens that they use it. They have machines that they put in your body that just give it to you. You know, when it recognizes the sugar level, it gives you some insulin, you know, by itself. Those are, you know, how they're treating it. Because you want to keep it at a normal level. You don't want your sugar being too high or too low. When you don't control it, when diabetes is not controlled, and this is what I see back home. Sometimes when I look at people, when diabetes is not controlled, it attacks your body. Heart attack, stroke, kidney failure. A lot of people on dialysis that they have to put in on machine to purify their blood is your diabetes was not controlled, and now it damages your kidney. It can damage the nerves that goes to that supplies the eye, and then you start losing vision or you go blind completely. It damages your nerves. People with uncontrolled diabetes, they have numbness. Your foot feels like, you know, numb. Pins and needles. Okay? You have increased infection. They frequently have infection because you got too much sugar in your body. And bacteria like sugar. Yeah. And sometimes it leads to what? The wound that can't heal. And when that wound can't heal, it keep growing, it gets to your bone. And then they say, nope, if it gets to your bone, they can't do anything about it. So guess what? They cut it off. They cut that part off. I've seen people, they started with their toes, they lost their big toe, then they lost their second toe, then before you go low, they cut it from below the knee. Yeah. It's not all doom and gloom. We can control it. How do we do it? Let's talk about eating healthy with diabetes. That's why I brought these things here. These are the common stuff we drink, right? These are the common things that when we're having party, we drink. I just want to tell you, what we have here is scientific. Okay? 1 teaspoon of sugar, okay, is 4 grams. 4 grams. And then for fat, same thing. So if you don't remember anything, take a picture of this. Because what we are teaching you to do is when you go shopping, when you go buy stuff, look at the labels, those little prints they have. Okay? It doesn't mean we cannot eat something sweet. We'll get to that to food. But let me tell you, this is the best thing that have no sugar and no calories. Okay? Oh, this cereal. How you call this cereal? Reese's Puff. I bet every horse here get one. Right? Okay. So the amount I have in here is 12 grams. Okay. How many teaspoons of sugar is that? That's 3. 12. That's 3. That's 3. Okay. This one is what? Yeah. Okay. So just the amount here. I'm not saying that. So just imagine how much we eat or our children eat. So this amount you have here is 3 teaspoons of sugar. Okay? So when you are putting it in a bowl, what we are doing is teaching you, so when you are putting a bowl, you are thinking about how much sugar you are eating. So you are conscious of it. It's not to criticize anybody. I'm not perfect. I'm not. Okay? Oreos. Ha, the favorite. Okay? This Oreo has 3.5 grams of saturated fat. Okay, when we talk about fat, not all fat is bad. There are good fat, there's bad fat. Okay? When it says saturated fat, that's the fat that has been processed. Anything that is processed, we need to be careful. It's not in the raw form. Yep, I'm going there. So, you see, I told the people I get partner, they thought I was joking. So, the 3.5 fat multiplied, we say what? On our paper, 4 grams of fat is 1 teaspoon. So, when we talk about serving, when we say 1 serving, you know what is 1 serving here? One of this. Yeah, one of this is 1 serving. And it's written on it. That's not me making it. When you buy these things, look at it. It will tell you 1 serving. And will tell you how much calories, how much sugar in that 1 serving. Okay? So, for that, the sugar, the total sugar is 23 grams. Okay? But the sugar we want to be careful about, just as we say there's bad fat and there's good fat, added sugar. And it's clearly stated there. Includes 22 grams of added sugar. So without that sugar they added, this thing will have only 1 gram of sugar, which make it very good for you to eat. But now, guess what? They add that. Why do they do that? They make it that when we eat, we can't stop. Yeah, when you take it, you can't stop. When you're driving, you put your hand there, you put your hand there, you going. Yeah, by the time 2 minutes pass, you put your other hand there. By the time you get to work, the bag finish. Okay, so check how many servings were in our bags. By the time you get to the bags. Good old Coke, the real Coke, that the original taste here. You see, they put it on the original taste. Yeah. But the thing is, it's not hitting. Take the original taste bottle, look at it. Okay? For sugar. Oh boy. The added sugar is 65 grams. Pass it around. Look at it. How many teaspoons is that? Is that 60? What's my 65? No, I want to show the sugar. This is 65 grams of sugar. Your 1 bottle of Coke, this is how much sugar is in it. I'm not kidding you. That's why I'm passing it so you can see it. I'm not making it up. Okay? So when you look at these things, remember, 4 grams is equal to 1 teaspoon. So just do your calculation when you're looking at it. I want to show you something. Iced tea, when you see it, it looks harmless, right? Very harmless. Oh, it's tea. It's nothing. But guess what? How much sugar in it? 46. This is the amount of sugar in your iced tea, that bottle of iced tea when you drink it. Oh, yeah, Martha. Martha. Just this little one. Okay? This one, 16. Okay? You know, it's not bad. But how many do we drink when we go to party? That's the problem. That is the problem. What I want you to take from here is that it's not that all these things are bad, that we should not do it. But in moderation. When you go to a party and you drink, and sometimes we let the children just run around, just drinking the pop whole day. That is the reason that type 2 diabetes is now coming down in the teenagers. Because the little kids, we're feeding them the pop. 65 grams of sugar, you drink about 3 at a party. You say, oh, the sugar making the butt. Yeah, you're not helping. Here's what I do personally. My own commitment to myself and my children is that I don't go to the store and buy pop. If I come to your house, maybe I'll drink one. Yeah. But I do not go to the store and buy it. It's a choice that we have to make. Okay? When you think about everything you have to go through, you know how many times people go to dialysis? 3 times a week. Between 2 to 4 hours. They get a machine hooked up to you, filtering your blood. Because your kidney can't do anymore. They're looking for a new kidney for you. And sometimes, because of other things, you don't have, you're not a good candidate for kidney transplant. So when we look at food, let's look at low fat, low sugar, low calories. Everything I talk about is on this one poster. What is diabetes, the type of diabetes, the risk factor. So this, maybe you can lay in the back there for, a few days. So that because we don't have time to do everything. Okay? These things will be here. It is for us to learn. Remember, the Word of God was inspired. And what is the reason for it? For correction, for instruction, and so help us to live as a better Christian. Can we do it? Yes. We can do it once we have the information. So I'm going to, stop here and take a few questions. Yeah, bring the fruit out. Yeah. Any question? Yes. Huh? I don't recommend a cereal. For food, let me tell you what I recommend for food. Whole grain. Okay? Again, that's another thing that I started doing long time. I buy whole grain bread. When you go, you will see it on it. Whole grain. Whole grain means that grain was not processed. The problem we have in this country that is now spilling over to poor Africa is the food is processed. We call it ultra processed. They process it. You process it into this one, then they take it one and process it. By the time you eat a potato chip, it's not a potato from Idaho again. You get more chemicals in it instead of real potato chip. That's the problem. Ultra processed food. That's what's causing the problem. So let's, low fat. Okay? Less saturated. When you are looking at saturated, look for unsaturated or polysaturated. Those are the complex form of the fat. Again, the more complex it is, the better. Okay? When we talk about eating, when we eat, we are very bad for us Africans. We eat rice and cassava leaf. That's it. It should be a mixed food, fruits. Okay? Yeah. Most fruit have low sugar content. That's why they are good. And they have higher fiber content. So the fiber fills you up so you don't eat too much. Any food that have high fiber content, it fills you easily. Then you don't have to eat too much. And that is the reason the food industry don't leave the fiber in it, they refine it. Then you just eat it. Yeah, it's the reason. Salt and sugar. That's why they put in the food. And sometimes we say, okay, eat vegetables. But when you take the salad, the thing you add to it, it can throw all the value of the salad away. Yeah, I can tell some people. Yeah, go ahead.
I was next.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm still struggling with sugar and sweetener.
Mm-hmm.
Sweetener is just something that's sweetened, but I'm still, struggling between those two, the real sugar and the sweetener. Can you just elaborate on that? No.
So in our food choices, like I said, we want food that have less sugar content and more calorie. Sweetener is empty calorie. Okay? It's empty calorie. We want food that will give us what? Protein, vitamin, mineral. But some of these things, they have none of those things in it. So we call them empty calories. You eat it, but there's nothing in it to go to your body. So it just increases your sugar in the body. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have your breakfast in the morning and you go into your doctor, what they didn't tell you about taking diabetes or testing for it, and they did your lab, and your glucose level is less than 100.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you call that? I mean, what is that?
That
How do you interpret that?
That's the random testing that I talk about earlier. So random testing is when you're not fasting. You just go to grab you and do it. If it is less than 200, you are good. Because you didn't fast. So if it is less than 200, then you are good. Just put your hand up. They will bring the mic to you. Oh, you. Okay.
I kind of wanted to piggyback on Sis Lorraine's question. I know she said she's struggling with the sugar and sweetener. Normally what I do, she's not here, but normally what I do, I substitute using honey. Because honey is a better substitute than your white processed or refined sugar.
And again, honey, right? But when you go to buy the honey, they have the unprocessed honey. And then they have honey that is processed. So just because we say honey is good, when you go, you still, what I want you to do, look at the label. Some food will tell you heart healthy, right? Look at the label. Anything that is canned, a canned soup, even canned fruit, anything that is canned. If you have to eat fruit, eat the whole fruit. Yeah, eat the whole fruit. Next to the whole fruit, 100% fruit juice. Okay? 100% fruit juice means they didn't put high fructose corn syrup in it. That's a whole 100% whole juice. That's a little bit better. But the best is your whole fruit. Your apple, your orange, your butter pear. Again, moderation. Yes.
Yeah, I just had a bout with type 2 diabetes 2 years ago. And my vision was going wacky, and I was getting dizzy, and I went to the emergency room, and, they said the numbers were off the charts. So it took me 2 months, and I just cut out all carbs.
Yeah.
And I just eat meat, vegetables, and fruit.
Yeah.
And, I got my A1C down very quickly.
Very good. So let me just tell you that you heard what he said. Protein is the meat. Okay? You need more protein. So it's important you know what you eat. Pastor McCall. Oh, okay, sorry. Whoever you go
It's
ahead.
not a question. It's more so a suggestion, recommendation. For those of you interested, there's this app that I have called Yuka, and it scans your food and your cosmetics. So usually when I go to the store with my sister, we use it. Whatever food item we pick up, we just scan the bar label, and it tells you if the food is good, if it's moderate, or if it's completely bad. So it just tells you based off the barcode, then you can know what to. Yes.
There's an app for everything now. Okay? There's African food, they have apps that when you take a picture, it will look at it, and the app will tell you how much calories in it, how much sugar in it, how much this, that in it. Okay? Go ahead with your question. Then I will talk about rice.
Yeah. So what's the compromise in terms of pricing? You talk about eating whole fruit or whole vegetable or what have you. Well, that is a good thing, right? Mm-hmm. But then when you go, it's so pricey. Mm-hmm. So what would be the compromise? The high price food, because that's what they have. They want to eat healthy, but the healthy one is high priced.
Okay.
So what's the compromise?
So here's the answer to that, Pastor McCall. So going to Catholic school and your people paying all that money and sitting in the village because the Catholic school is too restrictive, what's your benefit? So we might look at a price for healthy food and say it's high. That's a one-time cost. When you have diabetes, that cost is over years. You are going to spend more. What we say in Liberia, cheap is what? Expensive. That's why the street foods are cheap, because they want you to go for it. But then over time, we didn't even go to how much diabetes costs. Okay, how much the government spend on diabetes in terms of treating people, in terms of lost productivity. It's in billions of dollars. Yeah. So, yeah, the fruit might look expensive, but in the long run, it's cheaper.
I had one hack that I just recently learned was freezing bread cuts the glycemic index 50%.
Yes.
If you
Didn't I tell
freeze
you the
it,
last time?
or-
I read it somewhere, yeah.
you take it out and you thaw it out, and you leave it in the loaf just like it is, and you use it just like you would normal bread, and the glycemic index is half of what it was.
Yeah.
And that does work for rice also. If you freeze rice or cool it even, I was told, if you cool it in the refrigerator for a day and then take it out and eat it, and you can even warm it up and eat it, and it still cuts the glycemic index of that by half.
Good. So the glycemic index is the sugar level in our food. That's the way I would say it so we understand. It's the sugar level in our food. Okay, when you eat it, how much the sugar goes up. That's the glycemic index. Some food, when you eat it, the sugar shoots up. Okay, that's why we are saying eat low fat, low carb, or high carbs, protein food, fruits, vegetables, low fat is like, when we talk about good fat, okay, we have fat like your salmon, your mackerel. Those fish, they have fat, but that's a good fat. Yeah.
Yeah, concerning to buttress on what our brother Van said, the frozen food, it has helped me a lot. And now I have changed a lot of things, not going to Cup Foods. Now I go to Whole Foods to buy my groceries because those are organic. It comes from Mexico. So I have learned to freeze my rice, my drinks, and then warm it and then eat.
Yeah.
So that has really dropped my blood sugar.
Okay.
It has helped me a lot in exercising.
Very good. Before the next question, I will tell you, we are talking about food, but it works best in combination with physical activity. Okay? You're eating the right amount of food, and the thing we're talking about, if you cut a glycemic index and you still eat a whole loaf, yeah. So, yeah, because you reduce it, it doesn't mean, because it is the amount.
Good.
So, you see, I just took the thing and people are laughing. Okay, when we talk about rice, 1 cup, this is 1 cup.
Exactly.
Those of you that are not from Liberia, when we say cup in Liberia, this is cup. so when we say cup of rice in Liberia, this is what we put it in. So when you go in the market, this is the cup that they have over the rice.
Yes.
But when we talk about cup of rice here, this is the cup.
Yes. So.
Yeah, cooked rice.
So.
Not raw rice, cooked rice.
So that's my next question now, right?
Yeah.
So that's my next question. So, with all of this and the danger, some people now will be afraid to go for this and to go now to eating African food consistently from morning till evening, thinking that this thing will not happen because this thing is bad. I'll just go to my African food. What is your advice, even eating African food from morning, and then you're talking about that kind of cup? For some of us who are thick, we will want to eat a whole bowl and second bowl. So what would be, yeah.
Get a mic to my partner. She will tell you about rice.
African food, and eating it from morning to night.
Rice, the white rice that we eat, that most of us eat. I will tell you something. Jasmine, the white rice, they are the same. Okay? The jasmine just has a nice smell to it.
Taste.
But in terms of nutritional content, in terms of sugar content, jasmine and the regular white rice, they are from the same tree. Yeah, they are from the same tree. Okay? If you want to eat healthy rice, number one, brown rice. Okay? If it is brown rice, it's healthier than white rice. Okay? The basmati rice is better than jasmine or the regular white rice. Okay? And when we say it's good, you have to eat it in moderation. You have to eat it in moderation. Okay, bulgur wheat is the best. You know why? High fiber content, low glycemic index. The fiber in it is more. That's the reason UN, distribute bulgur wheat, because they know people are struggling, right? So you want to give them food that is healthy. Yeah, bulgur wheat, we think that just poor man food they bring in, but it's healthy. Healthier than rice. Yeah, bulgur wheat is healthier than rice. Okay. Somebody got a question? We got to close. How many times do I have, Pastor? I know I way beyond.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I want to ask.
Okay, 2 more questions.
So, in the African home, we already, sit down and eat like a, big bowl of rice. But then we all in the African home do that. But this is the thing though. We cook like, soup or stew or whatever. We add chicken, pork, everything in one pot. And then put it on a heavy bowl of rice and eat. Is it like a healthy choice? Because sometimes in African community, we say our food is like healthy food, it's healthy because it's not processed. But then is it healthy that we do that?
Number one, we eat a lot of white rice. And I've told you white rice is not healthy. And then number two, our problem, the pepper soup or that soup you're cooking, it's okay because the meat are all protein. But what happens is how much of the rice we put in the bowl. Okay, that's why I say so now we take a healthy food and then we throw it away. Because when you take that, you cook the fish, the dry turkey, all those are lean. Lean means they have less fat in them. Okay, when you go to the store, even the hot dogs and stuff, okay? Those are, I got a list of food here that, hot dogs, sausages, those are, empty calories. Yeah. Potato chips. Those things are empty calories. There's nothing in it to help you. Yeah.
Quickly, can you please?
And then the last one will come from,
We're still over here.
oh, God.
It's not really a question.
Okay.
Quickly, can you make a comment on GMO foods? GMOs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make a comment on that? Because some of the food labels, they have GMOs on there.
So, GMO means genetically modified food or organism. So what it do, like they have a research place in, I think it's in Ethiopia, because they have a lot of drought. They take a corn from here that is really productive. It produces a lot, but there's no water in